Good afternoon, everybody. My mic on. Can you see me and hear me if anyone's in here yet? Hello, hello. I'm a little bit early and I scheduled this last minute, so let's give it a few minutes for people to come in. Hello, Elena. Hello, hello. Thank you. Gonna be back to my other mic tomorrow. It's just stuck on my old desk right now and I need help to get it off. So I'm sorry if this one does not sound as good. You guys can start sending in your questions whenever you're ready. All right. When will I receive communication from the prison service about a new job offer? Will it be before Christmas? Will it be before Christmas? I don't feel like before Christmas. What would be 5 weeks? This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 weeks would be December 17th, which would be a week before. So I feel like between a week after Christmas and 5 weeks after that, there's some kind of delay, it feels. Maybe there's like an abundance of applicants or something like that that they're sorting through with the 5 of Wands in reverse. Token. So Ghost with number 17. There's a situation that's unfolding and you're kind of being guided to be the bigger person, even if it's difficult. The ghost is symbolic of like, let it go in a way, like let it just kind of dissipate type feeling. Should I stay or should I go? I feel like there's a need to see if, so 2 of Wands reverse, this could either be needing to tie up loose ends first or giving the person or a situation an opportunity to see if it can meet you where you're at. So I feel like there's something that could be tried before you leave, but if it does not work, then it feels like it's time to go so that you're almost like not leaving with, should I have done something differently? Like you're trying everything and then shutting the door type energy. Trying to tap back into my creative energy, free flow, but feel a blockage. Am I on to something? And what can I do to remove the blockage? It feels like you keep going back, cycling back to the same maybe idea. And it's almost like approach the same idea from a different perspective. It feels like the blockage is a projection that someone else put onto you that made you feel a certain way about yourself. You're aware of this, but it's a struggle to always identify when it's something coming from that. So I feel like you're on the right path, but now the goal is to shift perspective. How else could you achieve what you're trying to achieve right now in a way that you haven't tried yet? My son's birthday is Sunday. He died in March. Please tell him I love him dearly. I'm sorry to hear that. He died in March. Please tell him I love him dearly. So the Page of Pentacles would be your son here. And this is interesting because he's like sitting up on top of the pentacle. And the Queen of Swords would be representing you, the owl above, some form of communication, 5 of Cups in reverse, some healing. I would say pay attention to the signs around Sunday or leading up to Sunday or in the days after Sunday, it feels to be he's going to show up for you in some way. Almost like his birthday present is giving you that hug in some way. Let me get a song. Rise Up by Andra Day is the song. Is there anything I need to be focused on? Almost feels like there's not a missed opportunity, but an opportunity you're not seeing yet that if you shift perspective will come into view when it comes to something that's been stressing you out because you can't quite put your finger on what a solution could be. It feels like this has something to do with not necessarily finances, but like something in your day to day, that feels to be out of place. The solution requires a shifting of perspective. There's something available to fix it that you're not seeing yet. Who are my main guides? There was a time in your life when you kind of hit rock bottom financially that connected to some kind of like low self-worth wound, and that rock bottom caused you to address the self-worth wound, self-worthiness wound. If that's not literal finances, it's something related to like either health or stability. If this team of drawn to the three bunnies, you've had this team of three since then. This feels like guides. Guides specifically meant to help you focus on healing the way that you started to view yourself when you were like an early teen, almost like a mindset of lack that needed to be reprogrammed. Message from my spirit guides. Kind of giving there's someone you can talk to that would give solemn advice on what seems to be, I'm almost getting like that like Chinese water torture thing where like you just drop one droplet over and over in the same spot. It feels like you've been dealing with some kind of experience that's similar to that, and it's almost to just dump your feelings out and be heard and release, or there's someone you could seek advice from in that situation. The message seems to be like seek or ask and you will find, like figure out what it is that the next step would require, whether that's just releasing or whether that's getting advice from another person. Message from my angels and a token. Oh, it's a bat with number 89. Feels like there's something you're being called to change, but you're not all the way trusting yourself. It feels like a fear of failure is kind of being highlighted here, or it could even be a fear of success or something preventing you from taking a step towards something that almost like maybe you feel like something you want to do just for the sake of enjoyment, but you feel like you don't have time to just have enjoyment. It feels like you're needing to take a step forward towards whatever that is. There's a bigger piece in play when it comes to whatever it's opening up for you. Are the changes I have planned for my conscious teacher ebook in the right direction? I feel like something that you're very set on could be viewed in a different way when it comes to either the method of communication, or maybe it's like the breakdown, maybe it's like the outline of it or something. It feels like Three of Wands in reverse. Like it's not something you're looking to change, but could be restructured to be more clear or more easily readable. That could even be something as small as like putting certain things in bold or making certain things bigger. It feels like maybe getting an outside perspective to just see what gets lost in it. You know what I mean? Like that feels to be what piece is getting lost that seems to be more important than something that should just get easily lost. But other than that, it feels like yes, because the Emperor is on the board. Token. Let me change the song to 1 second. Blackbird by Sarah McLachlan is the song, and a light bulb. There's something that you've been considering or thinking or pondering on talking about, and it's time to start that process. Not time to jump into the conversation, but time to start to lay the groundwork to have a conversation. It feels like an idea or this thought that just won't let you go or won't release. It won't release until you speak about it in some way. Why did he cancel on me last minute on Friday? Was he really just tired? I feel like there is some depletion here because the Wheel of Fortune's reversed. The star reversed is like, I just don't want to be seen right now. I don't want to be almost like I have something going on in here and I don't want to have to put on an act, or I don't want to have to put on a mask because I don't want to talk about what's going on in my mind. It feels like there's, I guess I'd say, more so tired in the mind than physically tired. But it's like, I don't know how to explain that. So I'm just going to kind of hide myself. Message regarding my gifts. I'm excited about the discovery. Oh. Throat chakra leads to higher knowledge here. Whether that's something that's been repressed that when expressed kind of frees up more room to shift perspective in your mind. It feels like you have something on the hook energetically, like a fishing line, and you reel it in through moving around the energy in your throat chakra. Taking action in the throat chakra is the reeling in of something you have on the spiritual hook, like a concept that you want to understand or something that you want to unpack that you're not sure how to do so. You have it on the hook. And as your throat chakra generates energy, that it reels in, if that makes sense. Any messages for me? It feels like either you recently had a falling out with someone or you're going too soon and you're not really sure why. Don't take the blame for it. It's someone being removed out of your way that you weren't realizing was an obstacle so that you don't resist this rebirth that's coming. Almost like someone who may have been either a band-aid for a wound for you or like fogginess on your glasses that you weren't realizing is getting moved out of the way so you can go into the rebirth. So don't blame yourself for it. Message and a song from Tommy. Don't Blink by Kenny Chesney. Poets and Pirates. Just Who I Am. Poets and Pirates. Just Who I Am. It's kind of giving like I'm the same old me. Like there's this feeling of like release of whatever was feeling heavy. Like there's no more lack of peace. There's no more drama in my mind. There's no more either questioning or like heaviness, whatever it is. I'm not disappointed by my experience on the other side. There's kind of this like, I almost feel like maybe he's someone who either didn't care about death or feared death. And it's like all of those worries have been alleviated type feeling. It's almost like this, like I can finally take a deep breath. It feels like there's signs that he'll show. I have a dog in number 31. It feels like there's signs that he'll show you and you'll know what they are. Or you'll know they're from him, like very obvious. Should I trust D? It feels like this person would not hesitate to avoid certain pieces of the truth if they knew that it would affect the way that you handled them. So like if I do something that I don't want you to know about, I'll just avoid anything that would lead to that path. I might not go out of my way to directly lie to you, but I will avoid anything that would make you look at me differently. Should I write a character? I would say yes. And I don't know who else they're asking to write one, but I feel like something about either the way you write it or what you would write in it has more of an impact than other people's letters. So it's either the way that you write or what you're writing about will help your cousin more so than other people's letters, if that makes sense, especially with that Knight of Wands. It's like almost like if something was on the fence and yours was the last letter, it would push it in that person's favor. When and how will I meet my soulmate? I feel like it's going to be about 2 to 4 years. And I feel like this is through a mutual person. It's like my path and your path come together through someone that we weren't looking for a connection through, but that ends up connecting us. So that could be like someone takes you to an event and you meet someone. That could be you go to somewhere to support someone who's doing their passion or working and you meet someone, something like that. You have a mutual person that brings your paths together, but not in like a you two should meet way. Is my husband true in his feelings towards me, or is he just very, very comfortable in what I provide in our marriage? So this would be you providing. This would be two opposing forces working together, and this is not the truest of intentions. So I do feel like there's a comfort zone here being written. Queen of Cups. Ace of Cups, because of what you offer. I would say there's a hope that things will get better, but a lack of trying to put his part in to make that happen because of the comfort in what you provide. Message and a token. It's one of those little crane things that it's like on the boardwalks. Just because there's a delay doesn't mean you're heading in the wrong direction. There's a need to kind of be patient with yourself as you take one step at a time. It's almost like you may have tried to take 2 steps at a time. Team was like, oh, no, 1 step at a time. So they pulled you back a step so you could take 1 step and then another instead of 2 steps at once. So there's a need to shift perspective. You're not heading in the wrong direction. It's just you needed to head there a little bit more slow for some reason at this time. Message for my daughter's 21st birthday from her guides. I'm a Star by Jay Critch. Football may be significant. It shows a stadium or a touchdown type energy. Okay, I get the message. It feels like there was almost like she attempted to kick a field goal and the other team blocked it in some facet. It was blocked so that she could get what she really needed as opposed to what she thought she wanted at that time. And whatever that is that she really needs, that's really best for her, is coming in. It feels like 9 8 8 9 8 7. It feels like by July of 2025 there's some major win because of a previous loss that made space for it. So almost the message like it's going to make sense soon. Gigi and I fell, hurt her back right hip. Wait, you both fell or Gigi fell? How do you see her recovery? Well, if you fell also, I hope you're okay. How do I see her recovery? A need for patience because there's going to be some kind of frustration. It may be something where it's like, okay, I feel better finally, and then it rains and it's an issue. Or like, okay, I feel better finally, and then I twist wrong and something gets messed up again type thing. It feels like it's like a step forward, step back, and then steps forward. So there's need for patience. Message from my departed loved ones. Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses. So this is an interesting message. It's almost like either someone had been very excited to meet their ancestors, or there's like a multi-generation type gap. Like it would be like a mother to a great grandmother. There's like some connection like that. It was that past met up with someone who's been there for a while. It may have pushed certain things through to your experience so that you could heal a generational wound of sorts. And it's almost like that person's passing triggered these deeper feelings so that you could heal the generational wound. The message is about you being protected through that, or you being prepared for it type of thing. Like it ran in my family until it ran into me type energy is the effect. Message from my spirit team. You're going to start to notice the cobwebs being dust off, and you're going to start to make slow and steady progress. It feels like there's a specific moon fate of like a specific full moon you connect with, or one that was very significant for you this past year. By that moon in 2025, you're going to see what you would consider major progress in what right now feels stagnant. So whatever month it was that moon, the full moon, really impacted you the most this year, by that moon next year. And if there's two, it's the one that's second or a little further away. Any messages for me from my mom? I'll Be Missing You by Diddy and Faith Evans. So that doesn't have anything to do with the message then. There's this feeling of like a perspective that had been nagging you, or something that just didn't seem to fit in terms of an understanding you were having about yourself. And you've made much progress because you detached from whatever was not mirroring back to you a truest sense of yourself. So there's this feeling now of like trusting in your discernment because you've made it through a test with such flying colors that you're not even recognizing it was a test, there's a token that will be a clue. Like a fairy or like Tinkerbell. 43 is on there as well. Maybe within the last 43 days type of thing. Can you provide any messages from Spirit regarding love, divine connection, song, or token? Interesting. A little bell, like when you ring when you want service. So it feels like maybe you're trying to call in love, trying to call in. I almost want to say it's not time yet. There's still more healing that's coming to the surface, and there's some healing that comes with the feeling of longing. Because in letting yourself long for something, you're showing that you have the patience to wait for what will really be right for you and not settle for less like you may have done in the past. It's like you want it now, but there's a need to wait a little longer. There's a need to know that whatever healing is taking place in the longing is going to make an impact in that next connection. Who is my spirit guide? Would there be a woman who passed when you were in your teens? Or this could be a guide that's been with you since that time, but this feels more like someone who passed when you were in your teens, almost like someone you wouldn't really expect. Someone who would make sense for me to say they see in you a lot of what they weren't able to align with in themselves, but tried to. Yeah, 8 of Swords, like I'm trapped. I feel like it's something to do with your intellect. Someone who would have similar intellect to you. And if that's not someone you knew, then I would look up spirit guides who align with an interest that you've had since that time frame. It's something intellectual that connects you. Any advice in clearing my throat chakra? Oh. A need to let yourself be heard, even if that's just yourself hearing it. This being in reverse makes me feel like there's a need to almost like there's certain things that you feel like if you were to say them to other people, they wouldn't really understand, or it wouldn't have the impact that you would want it to have. So you hold back. So there's a need to say those things to yourself. It's like some pain needs to be witnessed in order to be transmuted type of thing. And if there's no one else that would really understand, there's a need to at least allow that space for yourself. I would say like maybe record yourself talking out everything that you don't feel safe to express to another person, and then listen to it, kind of take notes about what feelings come up as you're listening to it, and then delete it and be done with it. Release it in that way. Let me go to this list. New member, thank you. You get tested the most when it's time to elevate. Don't break. You've been pulling yourself out of dark places since you were a child. You were built for anything. This kind of feels like an inner child wound being tested right now. Almost like things that you may have been seeing from a more innocent perspective, you're learning the hard way about the dangers of almost like the dangers of not trusting your intuition or stepping away from your discernment. You may have learned a lesson like that the hard way recently. It's clearing. Whatever it is, it's clearing. Messages from my guides on what is next for me. Get a song, 1 second. Flashlight by Jessie J. Seeing something in the dark. It's like the only way out is through. There's something that you're worried about, and that's what's next, addressing that. It's like you need to close the door on something or like tie up loose ends on something, and that is what allows you to move forward, because right now you feel bungee corded back in some way. It's the star in reverse. Flashlight is the song. It's like, it's almost like you need to try one more time to see if you can mend something from the past. And that gives you the insight to know that it's okay to move forward. You've done everything you can. You've tried everything you could. And now it's time to move forward, if that makes sense. Two of Pentacles. You're balancing out a painful ending versus avoiding a tower moment. So almost like if I take a step forward without wrapping up something in the past, I'm going to keep looking backwards when my focus needs to be forward. So if I clear everything in the past, I know I can keep focused forward. Hopefully that makes sense. It's like alleviating whatever would be causing you to continuously look in the rear view, because then you may crash going forward, if that makes sense. Anything with my son or daughter I need to know. Interesting. See how they're like facing one another? Nine of Cups in reverse. It feels like they might not be all the way happy with something between the two of them. Maybe they're getting on one another's nerves, which can happen. That's nothing like crazy, but like there's some reason, almost like if you're aware that there may be some hidden tension, or like at least one of them is not happy with the connection between the two of them. This is a wish fulfillment reversed. And some reason this will help you communicate with them so that this can be alleviated. Any messages for me? What About Us by Pink? There's something that you're like, I don't know if I should trust. Almost like that you're questioning, is this my intuition or is this an insecurity? It's your intuition. But it feels like you haven't acted on it because you're questioning, is this just an insecurity that I'm projecting, or is this actually something coming from within that's letting me know the truth of something? Eight of Cups is reversed. It's like you're not leaving something behind because you're not sure if you should all the way trust yourself. There's a need to trust yourself there. Makes sense. Is the Conscious Teacher ebook something I'm meant to do, or meant to do something else instead or addition to? It feels like it's a piece of a larger puzzle. There is something in addition to, or there's something separate, but that you should also be doing. I don't know if the second thing has to do with the ebook, or if the second thing is like a platform that then the ebook can be sold on or something like that. It feels like there's two projects that aren't necessarily connected, but are together in some way. I do feel like it's something that I almost want to say the wealth in the ebook will not be the ebook itself, but more in the audience it draws in, or the crowd that it accumulates. So that then that leads to the second thing. Do one more here and then back to the other list. What gifts should I work on with my guides? Balancing out your third eye, your clear sight. That can be through kind of like closing your eyes, drawing what you see, and then using, like tarot or like something to try and, almost like there's fogginess on your third eye goggles and they want you to clear it off by practicing, knowing that you're already getting clear insight, but you just need to prove it to yourself, type of thing. That feels to be what's next. All right, go back here. What do I need to remember today? Blackbird by the Beatles, 2009 may be significant. It says remastered 2009. There's this feeling of if there's a boulder in the road, you can climb it or you can go around it or you can get someone to move it. There's always another option. If option A was to climb it and for some reason you can't climb it, try to go around it. If you can't go around it, try to call someone to move it. There's another option after the option. There's a need to remember that today. Have I done enough to end the generational wound? Further guidance from spirit in a song. Oops. Outnumbered by Dermont Kennedy. Generational wound. I feel like this is a wound that either is an inner child wound or begins around childhood where it feels like you've just needed to grow up too fast, or have needed to raise yourself, or it feels like you have, maybe feels like you didn't have the tools that you needed to understand certain things. It feels like whatever you're worried about, almost like you're waiting for it to be triggered in a way that it was in the past, and you've healed too much for it to be triggered in that way. It feels like it's not ended yet because you still are going to have opportunities to show yourself exactly how healed it is before it kind of leaves you alone. So whenever it comes to the surface, it's not you being pulled back. It's you getting an opportunity to show that you've healed it. Will my hubby get his new title? I would say yes. This is like, I'm finally not waiting around to be let into this higher title. This is him taking a leap of faith towards the self, like quite literally. It feels like he gets the new title after there's some kind of like either achievement or win, or it could be something like I gave a good idea in a meeting and they actually listened to me type of thing. It happens shortly after something like that. Why did this just move? Hold on. Because I did that. What the heck? There we go. Was the man shouting at me today the confirmation you mentioned about how I understand projection now? We apologize. Oh, 7 of Swords. Interesting. 6 of Swords. This would be the projection, the sabotage. This would be going into calmer waters. This is interesting because there's no boat here, as there typically is. This is someone going like, almost like the swords are breadcrumbs. It feels like confirmation of breadcrumbs from your higher self that are part of a bigger confirmation. There's something else still coming in that's going to be a confirmation about that. But yes, that was part of it. Almost like something else in addition to that helps a bigger piece make sense. What is my biggest shadow wound? What is my biggest shadow wound? Interesting. Past life wounds, chronic guilt and shame. What this says to me is there's this feeling like there's something that you're missing the understanding of, that you feel like you understanding it could help maybe your family or like a generational type of thing, right? It's like constantly feeling like there's something you're missing, constantly feeling like there's something that you may be doing wrong but aren't sure what it could be. It doesn't feel like this is the necessarily biggest shadow wound. It feels like this is the most prevalent shadow wound right now. Almost like this perfectionism, but it doesn't really always present as that. It sometimes presents as like like fear of missing out, but like fear of missing out on information. It's like trusting in divine timing, I guess is how I'd word it. And knowing that as long as you're taking action on your part, you're being shown what you need to be shown when you need to be shown it, type of thing. It feels like that is almost like something you weren't able to all the way achieve in a past life makes you feel like you're running out of time in this life. Is JS my soulmate? I've known him my whole life, but he never put himself out when I gave him the signals. Feels like there's misalignment. Almost like the experience that you've had with this person was what it was, and now each of you are going on different paths is how it feels. It feels like there's a lack of JS knowing who JS is while you're on the path to truly like understanding yourself. That feels to be the split in the paths. I'm going to turn off super chats because I don't know how long I'm staying when I have to pick up Gavin. Not too long. Let me go. Oh, no. Oh, I'll go to this list since that one moved anyway. What? Oh, I did that one. Is the mayor done with my cause, or is there really a security threat? Am I safe? Is the mayor done with my cause? It's kind of giving like I'll tell you differently, but I'm not really taking the action that I'm telling you. I'm trying to avoid some kind of drama. Is there really a security threat? It's kind of giving it's not what it looks like. You can't all the way trust what they're saying. I'm saying what I need to say, but not doing what I'm saying because I'm trying to avoid some kind of drama or issue. I'm waiting for it to pass. I'm not waiting for it to come in. I'm waiting for it to go out. I'm waiting for it to pass. What is that called when you like freeze someone out, or like I'm waiting for you to just be over it is how it feels. Am I safe? It feels like externally safe, but there's like this whatever's going on is messing with your mind. Like there's a need to be aware of the level of stress that you're under. It feels like that's where the danger is coming from, if that makes sense. My birthday is in 10 days. What does this upcoming year hold for me? Messages, song. Look What You've Done by Jet. There's this energy of needing to make space. There may be some kind of Three of Cups reversed, Justice reversed, Four of Cups. You're disappointed by someone who walks away. It causes some kind of imbalance, but they need it to be removed from your path. I would say this is a year of like cleansing. Like whatever's not for you, trust that it's falling away to make space for what is for you. It feels like a year of transmuting through almost like kind of triggering situations, but ones that are for you, not a punishment. It's like the year of the clearing, if I had to like name it. Nephew came home. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That's so good. I feel like there's a need. I'm pretty sure it's your sister, right? Um, I feel like his mom is still having a harder time than what she's letting on. And I'm sure you already have, but like extending the I'm here if you need me type thing, maybe even writing something a little heartfelt and then just not expecting a response. It feels like that might go a long way. There's this feeling of like I really feel alone in my mind and scared all the time type of thing. Even though I feel like I'm taking steps to be in the clear, I'm the stress is piled. So I think just you being aware of that will be helpful. Message for my son from my two great aunts who are his guides. Darkest Places by Abstract. Interesting. I said that. Whatever frustration or whatever tension he is or is about to or just recently went through, this is making me think of like a goalie thing. It's like there's this message of you might not have gotten the touchdown, but you're getting the field goal, and the field goal will win the game. You just need to wait to the end to see how it plays out. So whatever he lost or whatever didn't go his way was not really a loss. There was a deeper lesson in it. Something he can understand now and use for later. Last one, then I'm going to the other list. Done a lot of research regarding Lucifer and what he truly stands for. Does he have a message for me? Is this fuzzy? Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands. There's something about something. There's something in a document. I don't think it's like a story. It's like a document that you read. That the lesson in that is playing out now. Almost like you really wanted a confirmation if you were understanding something correctly, and that is playing out in some way now in like some, not in a bad way, it's something bad. It's like the need to see that you read something and you wanted to understand it, so you're understanding it through an experience that you're having. Feels more like a confirmation. All right, let me go to this list. Oh no, where am I? I do not know where I was. Hold on. Any idea of the source of the noises I'm hearing throughout the night? Running footsteps over the roof, things thrown at the house. Running footsteps over the roof, things thrown at the house. It kind of feels like a trickster or prankster type energy. Queen of Wands and reverse would be drama. Could there be like an older woman in spirit who's trying to get your attention by someone's energy? Almost like I'm trying to convey a message by showing up as a familiar trickster energy, but like there's some kind of pattern that it's associated with. So I don't know if it's like things that are happening the days that you're hearing it, or things that are being discussed earlier in the day when you're hearing it. There's some kind of pattern to it. I've lost my job. Is a new job coming soon? Yes, Not something you've already applied for, though, but something similar to what you've applied for. So I would say keep applying to places that are similar, but keep applying because it's not somewhere that you've applied to yet. The Six of Wands is a victory. I would say within the next 6 months. Does Spirit have any information to share regarding biological family? Corico by the national parks. One second. And when everything's the hardest part, when the spreading light consumes the dark, when you reach the end and miss the start, oh, you're in my heart. Okay, so with that plus these, I got there's also someone looking for you, but not someone, maybe not who you're hoping for, but it feels like someone is either curious or looking for you. But then I got Three of Cups in reverse, and I said, but they can't do anything about it. Why? 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Other people in the family would be mad. It feels like someone else that's also connected to you biologically shares the same curiosity, but they're being prevented from coming forward. Any messages for me from my mother-in-law? One second. Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles is the song. Mother-in-law. It feels like your partner may be having a harder time with either her passing or something. It's like if they're being avoidant about something, it's not you. It's a wound that they're trying to avoid facing, that this shadow wound that light has been shown on. The sun in reverse and the moon. It's like there's this need to be aware that something feels dark in the subconscious mind of how of your partner or whomever it is that connects you to your mother-in-law, which I'm assuming would be your partner if you're still together. Which it feels like there is this almost like questioning of which way to handle whatever this shadow wound is. Like, should I just continue to run from it, avoid it, or face it? Because it feels like facing it may cause a tower. My senior pepperoni has been acting strange lately. Is she nearing the Rainbow Bridge? If so, what can I do to make her the happiest? No, I would say you have more time than maybe you're fearing right now. King of Pentacles kind of makes me feel like, see how he's sitting kind of below all these trees, like comfortability and warmth and lots of blankets. I feel like that may be the suggestion, but I don't feel like it's as close as you think. Wheel of Fortune's reversed and Seven of Pentacles. Things aren't rapidly heading in that direction, at least. Message with a song. Something More by Sugarland. Interesting. Cupid. Something More. Cupid. Justice in reverse. Five of Cups in reverse. So I got you've healed too much to settle with these two cards. And then the next card I pulled was Six of Wands. So that's like a victory. That's like, yes, understanding the message correctly. You've healed too much to settle for almost like the brightest it's getting right now is still foggy in comparison to what you're deserving of. So there's a need to give yourself clarity and maybe ask the hard questions. Go back to this list. Remember, super chats are closed. I'm going to get through the last 9. R's energy towards G. I'm not working that good as a team, or I feel like you're not working that good as a team, and there's some kind of suggestion on how to make it better, and then it works for a minute and then it goes backwards. It's like this stop and go type energy. Tomorrow is my mom's anniversary of passing. Listen to the music by the Doobie Brothers. Connecting with her through music tomorrow. Maybe somewhere where you can be outside. There may be a reference to wine with these grapes on there. If you can, give yourself the day. Like, spend the day with her. Maybe make a playlist that would remind you of music that feels like it would be something you and her would put together. Spending time outside if you can. There's also this feeling of like, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. Some kind, my sneeze is stuck. Some kind of like drawing or writing or expression that would help you tomorrow. The message of like just kind of maybe spend the day. You might find some difficulty tomorrow with emotions, and maybe that's why she's saying kind of take the day by yourself. And if you come across some heavy emotions, try writing it out or expressing it in some way. It almost feels like there may be some memory triggered that makes you feel like, wow, a lot of time has passed, and that may be where this emotion is coming from. What hobbies can I do to help strengthen my gifts? Oh. It's giving like fly on the wall. So this could be learning about other people's experiences when it comes to almost like focusing on what realizations did other people have as they were learning about their gifts that were things that were already ongoing. So maybe like watching other people's spiritual awakening type messages, not to emulate them, but to understand different pieces of your own. It almost feels like building a sense of community, but not engaging with community. It's like realizing how the patterns show up for different people, if that makes sense. It feels like YouTube or TikTok or something, specifically typing in like spiritual awakening and listening to people's stories. For some reason, that's going to unlock something. One more and then back to the other list. A message about my dog, Pippa. Is the CBD keeping her comfortable, or would she prefer to be put to sleep? So the Wheel of Fortune is reversed. 4 of Wands is also reversed. So it's like 4 of Wands would be like the environment, right? So in reverse, it's like my environment of my body is not in alignment with where I would like it to be. 7 of Wands reversed is like I am a little tired of fighting. I would say this. It feels like there's this energy of like, I'm tired of fighting, but I can hang on. But when you feel at peace with the decision is when that decision would be right for you. It's kind of giving like, I'm okay now, but it's heading in that direction. But when you're okay with it. Am I destined to create a spiritual healing business of sorts at my current location? I feel like this is more online because like this was in the other message, my online card, and then this would be in person, but not in person. This would be the healing business of sorts. I feel like could this start online and then eventually branch out into something that has a location as you overcome certain obstacles, possibly. I do feel like yes, you're heading in the right direction, but maybe a different strategy to begin with, such as like online and building up a community that way first. All right, back to this. Will there be any national scandals come to light within the next 2 weeks? Putting down a burden of what we're not seeing and connecting the dots. Putting down the burden of what we're not seeing, connecting the dots. How to Love by Lil Wayne. A national scandal. I don't know if I'd use the word scandal, but it feels like there's something coming out that we're not yet privy to the information of. Like it may be obvious in news headlines that what is happening is some group cutting the low-hanging fruit. I kind of feel like there's some unexpected name that's associated with whatever that news is going to be. Why do I feel so unmotivated lately to do anything? What can I do to change that? It feels like there's something that your mind is stuck on and you're not recognizing how much energy is going to either like shoulda, coulda, woulda, or kind of ruminating over something that was not for you. With the Page of Pentacles, it's giving me that energy of like how I say you're trapped in a well and you have a rope in your hand so you can climb out, but you need to find a tree above ground to tie that rope to, needing to find this purpose, needing to find this interest. It's like needing to regenerate the spark from within. It kind of feels like your brain is bored, honestly. Like you need to seek some kind of mental stimulation that gets things kind of flowing again, of focusing in the rear view. Feels like you're focusing in the rear view subconsciously though, so you might not even realize that that's what's happening. Any words for me from Spirit concerning DR and a song? Stand by Rascal Flatts. There's something you're right about. Either you're understanding it correctly or you are intuitively getting the right downloads about it. It feels like something that's causing you stress, but there's a need to know that you're right about it. And to trust that and to make decisions accordingly. Will physical time apart from one another benefit than staying in this never-ending cycle? Will he ever be ready to try harder? I do feel like that is potentially something that could get this locked out of the cold feeling, locked out in the cold. It may thaw out some emotions is kind of, I guess, how to word that. It feels like it may not keep things balanced permanently, but it will restore some kind of balance where it's like, okay, it's now or never type of thing. Or it will, maybe that's what thaws out that energy. It's the now or never type feeling. Is my health going to improve? It kind of feels like things may get a little more frustrating before they start to get better. Almost, this could be like some new treatment has a side effect that takes a minute to even out or something. Or it could be something is making something else feel worse, and then they both start to get better at the same time, type of thing. It's feeling like one step backwards and then starting to take steps forward. So it does feel like it's going to improve, but after some kind of frustration or um, like step backwards, perhaps. Oh, I was wondering why Granny hasn't come through. She's the trickster. Okay, well, maybe. So I said it may be the older woman emulating someone else's energy. Maybe it's the two who are together is just that person's energy. So that would make sense. Why is my bloodhound Boomer laying so close to me at night? She has never been a cuddler. Feels like there's some kind of change that recently has been made, or there's some kind of healing that's happening. It's like, see how the bird and the person are close together? It's like the message of comfort, or the message of security, type of thing. Is my daily devotional ritual pleased to the divine and aiding in my spiritual journey? Yes, because it's separating you from some kind of mental prison here. It's helping to, let's say there's a hallway of doors in your mind, right? Like 80% of them you've done the work to open. This is opening up ones that had like padlocks and chains on them. I almost want to say like your faith, because of this, is helping you unlock doors that you were too afraid to open before. Message from my spiritual community. Don't stop until you find a way, by Fearless Motivation. It's like a speech. There's a situation or a person you're at odds with here. It feels like there's a need to be careful with how you're approaching a situation where you know that the other person is going to need to be in a state of like surrender in order to get the right outcome. Almost feels like you're the guidance for someone in this situation that you're at odds with. So there's a need to know that slow and steady wins the race. Let's see what other song. Real World by Matchbox 20. Small practical changes lead to big outcomes. Has Eric, my guide, got any enlightening news for me? The pause is meant to bring clarity. Or when you feel like you're being paused, it's so that you can seek higher clarity on something. You may be understanding something only 90%, and there's a need to kind of expand your peripheral type thing. Whatever comes next, you're going to need all the tools you have in your bag right now. And there's some kind of last minute tools he's trying to help you put in there. What can I expect in my daughter's life in the next 6 months? Oh. Whatever it is, either finances, or it could be like job security, or it could be some bit of like feeling uprooted, or it could even be like a minor health. Whatever she's dealing with right now is starting to head in the right direction, but it's not going to get all the way that she needs to get it to. There's progress, but not completion yet. But there's a lot of heading in the right direction because of some changes that are being made now. Any advice for what's happening within my marriage? I am asking for truth and I don't know if I'm getting the full truth. Asking for truth and I don't know if I'm getting the full truth. This is kind of saying swept under the rug. Swept under the rug, hiding behind some kind of wall. I would say there's an avoidance of certain pieces of the truth. So it's not necessarily that you're getting a lie per se, but you're not getting the full extent of the answers that you're trying to get. It's almost like, Eight of Swords. I don't want you to have the full scope of everything, because if you did, you would make decisions that might not be in my favor if I'm the other person. Learning to Fly by the Weepies is the song. And the sun went down as I crossed the hill. It's like there's something on the other side of the mountain you're not seeing. And I don't want you to get high enough to be able to see that perspective, if that makes sense. Will Rich go back to work in the trade show industry? It's almost like he's faced with two choices and he chooses to go a different route, but that's going to end up being possible. It almost feels like there's something better for him, though. Trade show industry. I feel like this wouldn't make sense, but maybe it's like a different type of trade or a different type of like investment type opportunity. It feels like it's going to be possible for him, but he's going to end up choosing something else. Go back to this. I'm going to finish these real quick. Is there a specific lesson I'm supposed to be learning regarding my dog Sunday? I love her a ridiculous amount. Trusting your intuition to explain the unexpected. It's like a mix between a mix between controlling fears about the future versus taking action in the now. And I feel like this is like a later in life thing. If you feel like you're not getting the answers you need, to trust yourself to find where you can get the answers you need. But I feel like that's a later thing. This is like healing fear of the future by being present in the now is how it feels. Oh, thank you, Linda. Let's pull one of these for you. Believe you deserve it and the universe will serve it. Do you know how much darkness it takes to star shine at the bottom? I feel like there's energy of like the past versions of you. It's like things are finally making sense, how all of those versions of you are supporting this version of you right now. So there's this feeling of like self-forgiveness coming in, because you're like, oh, I get it. I get why I had to experience that. I get why I had to prepare for this in that way. Allow yourself to feel that self-forgiveness. It's been a long time coming is how it feels. Message for me regarding VR. That one. Lillian has 2 teachers, Meeks and Meadows. What are their thoughts about her? She focuses very well and does very good at whatever she focuses on. And this is like she's going places. This can be she's progressed a lot since the beginning of the school year, or this could be since the beginning of the school year she's stood out. But these are all very positive. It's like there's a lot of she's going places type energy. All right, back to this list. Any messages from my spirit guides this week? Don't make any rash decisions. There's a need to sit with the pros and cons of something that you're going to have multiple choices for. It doesn't feel like you're making a decision this week, but this is the week where you're going to start to cipher between the pros and cons of 2 different choices about something. Don't rush into a decision in this case. Even if you feel like, oh, it's clear, I'm going to go that way, there's a need to hold on and pros and cons list it. Will there be any corruption exposed publicly at a high level in Canada or elsewhere in the world regarding trafficking and gang stalking? Corruption exposed at a high level, Canada, trafficking and gang stalking. It's like people come forward with something and it gets shut down. I come forward with something proof-wise and it gets hidden or lost or something. It feels like not in the way that you're hoping, not as soon, or not on the level that you're hoping. It almost feels like what needs to happen first is those who are responsible for hiding it for so long get exposed before it gets to the level of it itself getting exposed, if that makes sense. And it feels like those who are suppressing certain things are going to get exposed for other things other than that before that comes out. Should I give him space and allow him to come back around to make contact on his own time? Or should I reach out to show I'm still here for support? Own time. Reach out. Reach out, but not right now. I feel like it's better to wait for him. This is kind of giving absence makes the heart grow fonder, or it's in absence that I realize I have to show up in the way that I want to be received. And if I show up differently, I'm not going to that way type thing. This is like, it may hurt more to reach out, and whatever response you get may prolong this absence makes the heart grow fonder type energy. Message from my spirit guides. Fire and Gold by B. Miller started playing. Like an astronaut that's scared of heights. You're no longer dimming yourself here because of the emotional manipulation of others. And I feel like this is a lesson that's freeing you up for some kind of financial step forward. It's like now you're not afraid of putting yourself out there, or you're not afraid of being perceived or seen. So use that to your advantage when it comes to either like a job search or a lifestyle change type thing. How do I heal an abandonment wound? Getting clarity on what patterns that causes for you. So how does this abandonment wound show up? Are you abandoning yourself? Are you not voicing your opinions? Are you not taking up space or fearing being perceived? Are you holding on to people who are not good for you to convince them of your worth? How is it showing up? and then breaking that pattern or patterns. Am I taking the right medication for my bipolar? I'm not saying that you're not, but I feel like there's something symptoms wise that you might not have been all the way informed about that may show up. So I would just say if you're having certain things that don't feel like something that you want to deal with long term, maybe you're having headaches, maybe you're getting dizzy, maybe I would say at that point there's a need to immediately check with whoever's prescribing it, because there may be like a dosage change. It doesn't feel like you're on the right medication, but it feels like there's going to be some kind of hurdle to overcome when it comes to something associated with the medicine itself that you might not have like. It's almost like I didn't all the way read the fine print and I could just deal with whatever this is, or I could say, okay, this is showing up. What can we do to alleviate it, type of thing. How will tonight go for me? It's kind of like by the end of the night, I'm still wondering. I'm left wanting more, or like I'm still wondering when this is going to come in the way I wanted it to, or when this is going to make sense in the way that I wanted it to. Maybe I'm waiting to talk to someone and I don't get to talk to them by the end of the night, or we don't get to finish the conversation by the end of the night. It's like there's not that anything goes wrong, but it doesn't feel completed, if that makes sense. Will my last business relationship be positive and will my latest business relationship be positive and beneficial? Hall of Fame by the Script started playing. Yes, but there's something that it feels like you're not going to see eye to eye about, and there's a need to stand your ground with it. Not in like an aggressive way, but just more like, if you truly feel like you know best about something that there may be some odds with the other individual about, stand 10 toes down on what your experience is telling you. It does feel like it's going to be beneficial. There's just a need to hold your own, type of thing. Should I be concerned for my younger brother? I feel like there's something specific that you're seeing that you're right about. And it feels like it's something that he's not yet fully addressing. This feels more like keep an eye on it than take action. It's more like, okay, take note of where we are right now, where we were before, and where we're heading, and step in if needed, but not yet. Is my own healing method helping Maya? She is test piloting it for me. I sent to you along with others on my list too. Oh, thank you. I'll have to check my email. My email is very backed up right now. Is my own healing method helping Maya? I feel like specifically it's something that's meant to help the individual reconnect to almost like whatever you are doing is leading people to the right field. There's room to call in whatever's needed to heal themselves. So you're setting the platform for healing. So I feel like, how do I word this? Whatever internal dialogue would be working against someone being at at peace to be in the field so they can call in the healing, you're helping to silence the internal dialogue that would be working against a person. So specifically, it feels like almost like a mental reprogramming is what's happening in Maya. So yes. I did this one. What did I say? Probably, I think maybe like 15 minutes ago. What did I say? Some kind of change just being made, or some kind of, I had 5 of Cups in reverse, I think, some kind of healing. So maybe like a minor injury and I want comfort, or there's some kind of change and I'm seeking comfort type of thing. Any words for Nicole from Rob regarding Dave? For Nicole from Rob regarding Dave. Some people can only understand you to the level that they're able to understand themselves. And sometimes there's a big difference in between how much you can understand yourself versus how much someone else can understand themselves. Just because they're not understanding the message doesn't mean that you said it wrong. It just means they lack the understanding or the depth to unpack it. Is Amelia's medication causing her hair loss? Is she okay to come off her psychotic meds now? Causing hair loss. Of the body. Something I'm taking is giving this reaction. Page of Wands reversed. Why is that reversed? Yes and no. Almost like not directly, but something that is associated with it. So whether it's like nutrition being different because of that, and then that being off and causing it, or like stress levels or something like that. I guess I'd say like yes, but also not directly. Is she okay to come off them now? I would say no. It feels like there needs to be something else in place, up and running before that happens. Or there's a need to very slowly taper, not like a direct on and then off type thing. So either like a slow, prolonged tapering off of it, or making sure there's something else in place to like replace that. My intuition has been spot on, scary spot on. What can I do to continue down the spiritual path to strengthen it? Interesting. So with this, I got some kind of rabbit hole that you pull on the string and everything else unravels, and then we have the devil. My intuition has been spot on lately. There's something that you know to be true that you're like, oh, well, it could be wrong because it's just my intuition telling me, so I need more proof. You don't need more proof. Start to pull on that string. There's a need to trust yourself on something you know to be true that you otherwise would find it difficult to have the proof for. That's the next step in opening something up for you. Or you don't necessarily have to address it, but start taking action as if you know it to be true instead of just questioning if your intuition's right about it. Any messages from my guides and ancestors regarding healing generational curses, wounds, and trauma? There's something it's difficult for you to understand about a pattern that shows up for you. And it's because it's associated with almost like the part of the family you don't know, or the part. Wait, was that you that asked the biological family question? Because this could be that. It's like there's something that you're not seeing as a pattern that's associated with the generational trauma, but because you're only seeing the pattern in you, you think it's a you problem. It's not a you problem, it's something deeper than that. As you start to look at the wound and face the wound, you're gonna see how the pattern shows up differently in other people, but it's the same pattern. It's giving that same quote I said earlier, where it ran in your family until it ran into you. There's something you're meant to kind of cut the cords with when it comes to the way that your brain may try to avoid these strikes of lightning. Almost like brushing off certain things that don't seem important but are actually part of the pattern. As you start to look into them, you start to see how the pattern is hiding itself, if that makes sense. Like let's say it's an abandonment wound. It's trying so hard to not be seen as that, so it's showing up as anger or it's showing up as shame so that you don't get to the root of it, type of thing. Do you see me starting a job the first week of December? I see you starting between then and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the first week of February. So in between that and the first week of February, it feels more likely to be sooner rather than later, but it feels like there may be some sort of delay. I'm going to do 2 more and then I have to hop off. Should we be worried about my mom's health going forward? There's something you're not in the clear of yet when it comes to her. So you're saying, should we be? I feel like there's something that you are fearing that whoever else is involved in we is like, okay, it's probably fine. But you're like, I'm kind of worried about that. It feels like that worry is a founded worry. It feels like you're not in the clear about something yet. Almost like one tower has fallen, but there's another tower that will fall. But it's also manageable. It's just having to experience the other tower. Message from Matt and a song. If You Could Feel My Love by Veaux. Veaux. Either this person was recently in a dream or they're going to be in a dream. It feels like there's 2 ways that you could understand this dream, and the answer is in the second way. Almost like there's a, okay, it's probably this, but it could be that. It's the one that seems more complex. I said why, and I got 7 of Swords. It's so you can change your strategy about something. All right, last one, and then I have to hop off. Will I be offered a job before the end of the year? I feel like there's some kind of delay. A 3 to 9 week delay. 1, 2, 3. So between the middle to end of January, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, beginning of March, middle end of January, beginning of March, I feel like something will be solid by that time. It could happen sooner, but it feels like there's going to be at least a bit of a delay. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. I do have a subscribers live scheduled for tomorrow. I think 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to probably hop on for either another members live on Friday. I might try to do true crime and see if I have enough time to do the other members live. But I owe you a half hour if I don't come back on next week. But I'm going to try to come on Friday. Anyway, thank you to my mods. Thank you to everyone for being here, and I will talk to you soon.